Welcome to Tell Me Something Good, the podcast where we shine a light on the incredible ways Christ Greensboro is sharing God's boundless love with our community and beyond.
Yeah, that's right. From inspiring mission projects to heartwarming stories of generosity and service, we're here to celebrate the good news happening right here at Christ Greensboro.
I'm Lori Gray.
And I'm Robert Joe. Together we'll dive into the ministries, partnerships, and people that are making a difference every single day.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let us tell you something good.
Good morning, Lori Gray.
Well, hello, Rojo.
How are you?
We're off to a rocky start.
Gosh, it is the most Monday I've had in a while.
And it's very polleny outside.
No, it's actually been a really good day. When we tried to start this podcast a few seconds ago, Lori said good morning to me, and I looked at her like she was speaking in a different language.
I was like, what is happening?
Well, we are so glad that you're here with us this week.
Yes, it's been interesting. I've had a lot of new people say, "Oh, we heard your podcast," and they were really appreciative of the content last week. Which I don't know that we really meant to do that, but it just happened because it was just in my brain. And so in a little bit, I have some resources just in relation to that
that may follow up.
Yeah, that may help. But before we do that, we should talk about our something good.
Yes. Well, I bet I can guess what yours is. I bet you can guess what mine is.
Yes, we welcomed 8 million new members yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, it was awesome.
All precious in His sight.
Yes. So at the 9 o'clock service, before the 9 o'clock service, I looked out and there were all these people standing out front and out, under the portico. I was like, what is going on? And then I realized, those are all our new members that are going to be joining at 9. You were out there taking their picture. And I teared up. I mean, I just walked around with a Kleenex in my sleeve all day yesterday. Yeah. Because then I went in, I walked into the service just when they were joining, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. We had a Gen X bonus gathering yesterday because a lot of our Gen Xers joined. And that was very well attended. You were actually there.
I was in attendance.
Yes, you were in attendance. It was so beautiful outside, and I don't know. It was just a great day. So professionally, it was a great weekend. Personally, I got to see.
Tell me more. I want to hear about this.
So on Saturday, Abby and I went to see my bonus daughter. So it's Abby's half sister, and she has 2 children. And Hayes, I had not seen Hayes, and he's 8 months old. And I hadn't seen Miller since she was a baby.
Sure.
And so it was so much fun to go see their new house and to hang outside. We sat outside and chatted for like 4 hours, and it was a great day. And then Caldwell came to visit, because he lives in Raleigh. He's at NC State. And then one of our other friends who used to come to Friday, who moved back to Raleigh, he stopped by. Actually, I thought he was just stopping by, but he ended up staying most of the time too.
Sure.
And then, and of course, Taylor's husband Nick came and brought the kids. And it was just Saturday was an awesome day. Sunday was an awesome day. And here we are on Monday having an awesome day.
Good day.
Yes, in the podcast.
Yes.
So tell me about
nice.
yours something good.
Well, I knew that we'd probably overlap quite a bit with something good this week because Sunday, I really think that we do a great job with worship every week. I'm not saying you and I specifically. I think our team does a great job.
Yeah.
But there is something so special and so moving about having just that large number of people committing themselves to a community of faith that we just so happen to be a part of.
Yeah.
And so, my something good for this week is that part of my responsibilities here is to take photos of all of our new members. And so we use those photos in a couple of different places. We use them on social media to welcome them so that our community of faith can see them and know their names and their faces. We put them in a pre-worship slideshow for a couple weeks after they join. And then for the staff purposes, we put their photos in our database so that when we're typing in their name to ask them a question or to reference an email that they might have sent, we can put a face with a name as well.
Right.
And so I really enjoy this because as y'all are probably aware, photography is my background, and I believe photography to be just like a really connectional experience. And so I may or may not know these new members super well at the time, but having a chance to take a photo of them and for me to put a face with a name sometimes
Yeah.
is really important, because I'll hear their names in meetings when we're talking about them joining, but I don't necessarily know them until I meet them in that moment.
Right.
And so I was just grateful to have the opportunity to take pictures of everybody, and everybody was so excited, and just,
I know.
you know, like as everybody was kind of waiting around, because you had mentioned that there was like this big swarm of people out
Yeah.
under the portico, and so as people were waiting, I could hear them behind me chatting and saying, "Oh, I go to this service normally, but," or "I have kids that are this age," or "This is the small group that I'm a part of." And so it was just really neat to not only get to like capture these moments for our church history, but also to kind of see the fruits of them beginning to make connections beyond maybe where they already have here.
Yeah, it was the other thing that was amazing to me, and you know, we talk about we embrace all people with the boundless love of God. We
Sure.
say it all day, every day.
Yeah.
At the 9 o'clock service specifically, to look up on the stage and see the people up there. I mean, if you took that snapshot,
Which
that
we have.
is which we have, and it's on video. It is just so representative of what we are just trying to do every day and to live out our mission. And that, I thought about it all day yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm obviously still thinking about it. That just made my heart so happy.
So you were talking about how it made you feel, and then I had walked out of 9 a.m. to finish up kind of the importing and kind of filing of all those photos before 9 a.m. And so after they joined, I did leave the service long enough to do that. And I walked out, and two of our coworkers were standing kind of close to where I was going to be sitting, and they were just talking and talking and talking about it, and they had misty eyes the whole
Yeah.
time. I mean, it was just the best day.
Yeah, it was the best day.
So
Yeah, and then to go and celebrate yesterday afternoon with the Gen Xers, it was
yeah,
just a great day. It was just a great day.
the sun was shining.
The sun was shining. The tank was clean.
It's clean.
Oh no.
Finding Nemo reference in case
Yes,
you're wondering.
and I mean we'll probably reference it. We've probably referenced it
bajillion times.
a million times. So before I forget, so last week we were talking about how important it is for us to be able to have hard conversations when we don't agree. And so in News from the Pews, which is our newsletter that goes out at the end of every month, kind of a recap and then talking about what's coming up at Christ Greensboro in the coming week. There's this little article I put in there, but then I went through some resources that we have here in our resource room, as well as one that we just ordered. Our Race, Reconciliation, and Social Justice Committee ordered the book, I Think You're Wrong, But I'm Listening.
Yeah.
And so that book, if anybody's, the ladies that do Pantsuit Politics, which is a podcast, and one's a Democrat, one's a Republican, and they have the hard conversations on there, and they're so funny, but they put it in lay people terms about what's going on, and that's it's Sarah Stewart Holland and Beth Silvers. They're the co-host of Pantsuit Politics. So we have their book in here, but then some of the others that I found that we have, and we've put this out to our, to the congregation. Like if you are wanting to try to figure out how to have these hard conversations,
Yeah.
here's some resources. So,
Sure.
Longing to Belong, Learning to Relate to the Body of Christ by Beth Chrisman. Get Your Life Back, Everyday Practices for a World Gone Mad, John Eldridge, which I feel like I need to read that. Confronting the Controversies, Biblical Perspectives on Tough Issues by Adam Hamilton. Seeing Gray in a World of Black and White, again by Adam Hamilton. Another one by Adam Hamilton, When Christians Get It
shout out
Wrong.
Adam.
Yep, that's right. Politics, Judgment, Salvation, Sexuality, Tragedy, it's Science. That's Adam as well. And then Everybody's Normal Till You Get to Know Them by John Ortberg.
That's the story of my life.
I mean, that's the story of everybody's life.
John Ortberg stole my story.
I mean, for real. I mean, I know. But isn't that the truth? Like,
Yeah.
everybody, you think everybody's life may look perfect, especially on the social medias. You know, it's the highlight reel. And
Yeah.
you just have to remind yourself, again, this is the highlight reel.
Sure.
This is, we're all dealing with struggles and
Yeah.
things, and sometimes you feel like your life's imploding or exploding depending on what's going on. But anyway, yeah, so there's some resources, and if you want that list, you can email us at info@christgreensboro.org, and we'll send that along to you.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've gotten a lot of good feedback from last week's podcast, which,
Nice.
you know, I mean, people are like, we heard you on the radio, and they laugh, and they think, they were like, well, last week was a little different. And I'm like, yeah, we kind of went, we took a different route.
And I think that we've said this before, but I always take the opportunity to say this whenever someone compliments or comments on our podcast. Regardless of how you're hearing this, there are two main avenues of how you're hearing this right now. And so you might be hearing this on 101.7 FM, which is our Christ Church radio station, and it airs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. And the other way is if you happen to be listening to this episode and you're like, I would love to hear the rest of it, but I'm jumping out of the car, I'm going on to something else, you can always you can find every episode that we've ever recorded
Yes.
on our YouTube page, and you can find it under the podcast section under Tell Me Something Good. Seasons 1 and 2 are both there
I know,
for
it's
you.
hard to believe we're in our second season.
But yeah, in case I had someone come up to me yesterday and was complimenting the whole, oh my, there is a car out.
No, I think it's the trash people.
Oh, it's time for recycling, everyone. I'm opening the window and there's a giant blue can in the sky. But someone was commenting on the podcast and said that they had 20 minutes to kind of spend, and they were already tuned into 101.7, but they had to get out of the car because their appointment was coming up. And so I said, oh, you can go back and finish the episode on our YouTube page. So
You can also access our YouTube, actually it goes right to the podcast. If you go on to christgreensboro.org and go to radio, it's under the second tab. Anyway, there's a button that says podcast, and you can click it. It'll
Sweet.
take you right to the podcast, all of our episodes.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That was a whole lot of information. Again, I mean, we're good at that. So we got good stuff coming up.
yes.
Because we're in the season of Lent and Easter. Tomorrow, so we're filming this on Monday. So tomorrow's April Fool's Day. I feel like we should be talking about something funny along those lines,
Yeah.
but we don't have any plans yet.
Not
I feel like we should
Give me
prank
just a
somebody.
moment.
I feel like we should prank somebody. Anyway, if you have been visiting Christ Greensboro, or if you're interested in learning more about our church and our community of faith, we have a Discover Christ Greensboro class coming up on April 13th, and that's a great way to kind of get to know us. So just keep that in mind if you're listening and you're like, I think I want to go check them out, and I'd like to know more than just going to worship. So again, April 13th from 10 to 11 a.m. in the concourse.
Okay.
You can find out more about that under christgreensboro.org/events. There's we're doing spiritual practices on Wednesday nights during Welcome Wednesday. We have an icon painting retreat that is during Holy Week that looks fantastic. So they're going to be painting Jesus, the Good Shepherd, and it'll be led by Kara Gillette, and she is an experienced iconographer teacher from Sophia Icon Studio in Boise, Idaho. So they're bringing her in to do this, and it should be a great week. The cost is $400, but that includes the panel board that you'll be painting on, acrylic paints, and the brushes.
Okay.
So, yep, and it's right here at the church. So that should be a really cool event. And you can find that under christgreensboro.org/events as well.
Yeah. Well, in the week after Easter, on April the 23rd, which is a Wednesday evening, we are hosting our Easter Story Walk, which is an intergenerational experience. And so that is from 6:30 to 7:30, and you can meet us in the gathering space to begin that. I had such a fun time. Well, I enjoy hanging out with Crystal Pruitt, our director of children's
She's so
ministry,
fun.
anyways. But I love, as part of my job, as I told y'all before, I love that I get to work closely with most of our staff because of, well, I mean, really what we both do, but like specifically what I do. What I do, I get to sit down with different department heads or pastors and work on really fun projects in the promotion of them. And so last week, I sat down with Crystal and we worked through the promotional materials for this Easter Story Walk, and I'm really excited. Here's some of the wording that we used, and it is: people of all ages and stages will enjoy traveling through the pages of He is Risen. Yes, she made it rhyme.
I was like, okay, Dr. Seuss, I hear you.
Oh, get ready. Each page will be staged at stations through the church with a wide variety of immersive experiences ranging from thought-provoking and reflective, to sensory-rich and worshipful. Even the opportunity for communion. The whole family can experience the Easter Story Walk at this event. And so what I would like to point out for this, and this is good to know and really exciting, is that we're offering this event as a free event, right?
Right.
So it's free to walk and participate and have that experience, right? But if you or your family unit decide that you want to make the craft, which we have attached to these graphics, and
Yeah,
you can look at them.
I love it.
It's really cool. So if your family chooses to, it's a $10 fee for that, which for $10 for your whole family to have this really immersive, holy experience the week after Easter, I feel like that's just such a steal and a deal. But yeah, so it's $10 if you wish to complete the wooden tomb craft at each station.
Yeah, I might have to come do the craft.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So something else coming up, we've talked about Lunch Bunch before. Mm-hmm. And this month, so it'll be Tuesday, April 15th, Ellen Whitlock from Guilford County Senior Resources will be here.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel like this is a great opportunity for any age to come learn about what resources they provide. Because even though I'm not, I mean, this is geared more towards baby boomers, but even though I'm not a boomer, my parents are, and so it's a great way for me to go and learn about some things that may be able to help them.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
your grandparents or whatever. So again, I didn't want to forget to mention that. So Tuesday, April 15th here, and there's lunch, so you need to register. And anyway, so that's a good thing coming up. Something else fun? You have something else you're wanting to?
Yeah, but you can go ahead.
Did I jump in and cut you off?
No, not at all.
Were you done talking about?
I was making eye contact with you so that you knew I had something to say, but I'm good. You go right ahead.
You're here, like in the kind of okay. All right, Grasshoppers. Christ Greensboro Night at the Grasshoppers.
Woo.
So it will be May 17th. If you want to join us and sit, because they've got tickets so we can all sit together. You need to register. The cost is $11 per person. Children under 4 do not need a ticket. Game time is 6:30. Or if you're like, well, I want to go and see these people, but I don't necessarily need to sit with them. Just know we're going on May 17th.
There you go.
Okay. What you got?
Woo-woo. Well, I have something that I am totally excited about telling you about.
Bless it.
So, in January, dear listener, you know that we rolled out our new and beautiful logo, compliments of Tonic Branding, and we have been putting it everywhere.
Yes.
If it sits still long enough, I'll put it on there.
I feel like we should get some press-on tattoos.
Well, why not?
That would be fun.
We're heading in that direction at this point. No, but really part of the excitement of my role here is getting to find places to put it that it connects with people. And so we have done a pre-sale of t-shirts. The first round came in, people have picked them up, people have seen them and wanted them. So we ordered more, and I'm hoping that they'll be here this week. Fingers are crossed, and hopes that is the case. But we also just received golf shirts for our staff.
Yes.
And unfortunately, these are not something that we are selling to the general public, but we're very excited to have these for special events and just for office day wear. I mean, for me, it's just like an easy, just throw it on with a pair of jeans or a pair of khakis and go to work.
I almost wore mine today, but then I was like, oh, I'm going to wait and wear it Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Like Wednesday,
Yeah.
for Welcome Wednesday.
And so while that is unfortunate for those who have asked about them, we do have an option for you to sport Christ Greensboro out in public, and it is with our new tote bag.
Yes, I love it. I cannot wait to get mine.
Yeah, so it's a canvas bag, and it has black details. So like the bottom, the straps, the trim on it, they're all black, so it really makes that black lettering pop. And it has, of course, our new logo, Christ United Methodist Church, on it. There are photos of it on our social media. There's actually a video that Lori filmed of me while we were in the embroidery shop last week.
That's right. I was working my magic.
You were, and it only took me 2 takes, thank the Lord. But the phrase that Lori was rolling her eyes at was when I said we are totally in love with our new logo.
That.
So for a suggested $30 donation, you too can have one of these awesome tote bags. We have purchased and are having embroidered 40 bags, and about 22 of them at this specific time have been claimed. So if you're interested, I would urge you to email me at rchou@christgreensboro.org, and you can claim yours. They should be here, I would say, by the end of next week. So whenever they arrive, whoever emails me, I'll just respond to that email and say you can come pick it up. But we're very excited, or at least I'm very excited to have these. Who doesn't love another, who doesn't love a bag?
Right.
And everybody's like, I don't need another one. Well, that didn't stop you from buying the last 5.
That's right.
And I'm not saying you have to buy this one, but just know that if you're a bag person,
You're
this is
going to
the
like
bag
this bag.
for you.
Yeah, because it's got pockets. It has
Yeah.
lots of pockets.
It has a zipper pocket on the inside, and there's like an external just pocket. So,
Yeah, that you can drop your phone in
Yeah.
at the beach.
well,
Speaking
sorry,
of the beach.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're going to have a guest co-host next week.
Next week.
Because I'm not going to be here because I'm
LG's on the
going to the
coast.
beach. I wish I was going to have my bag for the beach.
If you're listening to this
Maybe.
episode and you have my email, which I just gave you, or if you have my cell phone number, or you have a carrier pigeon you'd like to send my way, drop me a recommendation for a co-host, and I will
That's
see.
a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I'll see who I can conjure up to be my co-host for this lovely podcast that we
Yeah.
have.
And I'm going to go put my toes in the sand.
Nice.
I can't wait. It's going to be I'm going to be sad to not be here with you, though.
I know.
I could call in.
We'll make up for it the next time.
Will we? Is that what's the next week? Oh, we still have a couple
Yeah.
weeks before the special podcast.
I don't think we've even talked about that.
No, we did not.
Okay, so let's do that before we wrap up for today.
Yeah. Okay. So, as many of you know, Rojo has a big birthday coming up. He's going to be the big 30.
30 and
Whatever.
thriving.
And so, in honor of his 30th birthday, you tell him what you did.
So, I have seen on social media before where people that are turning a milestone age will take that year and write down that number of things they've learned in that number of years. And so for me, turning 30, I've written down over the past almost year, 30 things that I can remember that I've learned over that time period. And so I was talking to LG on the way back to our offices last week, and I was like, it'd be really fun to be able to share these, not only with you, Lori, but you, the listener, and just have a little conversation. And so none of these truths are anything other than things that I found to be true for myself. And so the week of April the 21st and the week of April the 28th, parts 1 and 2 of that little mini series will be airing.
Yes.
So you won't hear from us about necessarily tell me something good, but it will be our voices and it'll be our feedback on things that I have learned in my 30 years of life.
And there's some really good moments in there.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Well, and I think
It makes me laugh every time I think about the one.
so I find myself to be a very sentimental person, and we kind of dive into this in the episode,
Yes.
or in the first episode, but I find myself to be very sentimental, and so when reflecting on these truths that I have found in my life, I think back to times and places and people and the good and the bad and the hard and the wonderful and everything in between. And so
Because it's life.
it's life and it's wonderful and it's
Terrible.
challenging and it is all the things.
And then
so
it's joyful and then it's, yeah.
And many people have commented, Lori, on the chemistry that we share on this podcast and how like easy we seem to get along and how wonderful it seems to be. And so this little mini series, like I'm calling it, really I think encapsulates just kind of
Yeah.
how well we flow together.
Yeah,
So
I can't wait.
you were invited to tune in on April the 22nd, I believe. I guess that's the day it'll air.
Yep.
And then April the 29th, the second episode will air.
It's my dad's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your dad.
I know.
So,
that'll be good.
Something to look forward to, and yes,
And I
if
guess
you have any recs for
co-host next week.
yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sad, but it always makes me laugh because usually,
Just listening back to it.
yeah, whoever you bring in here, it'll probably be Garrett because he can't control himself. He just wants to be part of the podcast. He always tries to bust in here. It used to be Morris, but now it's Garrett.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. I think, is that all we have?
I think that is all for this week. If you have any questions,
you mean I have to go sit back down at my desk now?
unfortunately, that is the case. But if you, the listener, have any questions for us, you're welcome to email us at info@christgreensboro.org, and we'd be happy to try to get you the right answer.
Yes, or just visit our website at christgreensboro.org. Find out all the information that we shared with you today, except the books. If you want the books, you have to email me, info@christgreensboro.org. And of course,
We'd love to
Please.
see you
Yes.
on a Sunday morning.
yes,
And so, if that is what your what your heart is telling you to do, is to come see our crazy faces, we would love to see you at 9 a.m. For our contemporary worship service.
or 11 a.m. for our traditional service. And we will be so happy if you walk in and you're like, you know, I heard you talking about this on the podcast and thought I would come in and visit. We will
Yeah.
just hug you and squeeze you and jump
Yes.
up and down.
Yes.
Okay, well, we won't hug you and squeeze you because
Don't
it might
scare
make
them
you.
off.
I know, but we'll clap our hands and be excited.
And if you are new to our campus, this is a helpful tip. Members and guests, their name tags have their name on them, just in black text with our logo at the very bottom. And then staff persons, they have a blue stripe on their name tag. Our Stephen Ministry team, which we love them very much, they have an orange stripe on their name tag. And our people that work in ministry with children, they have a green stripe.
That's helpful to know.
So there you go.
Thank you, Rojo. Look, it rhymed. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we have to go back to our desk and do boring stuff now.
Well, until next time, we, as per usual, are grateful that you are sharing some space with us and have chosen to start your week off on such a high note, right?
It's like the podcast is my favorite thing to do.
Yes.
It is. It's so fun. And I was kind of grumpy when I came in here, but I'm not grumpy anymore. I still have pollen in my nose, but other than that,
Yeah. Well, we hope that you have a great week.
yes,
and
have
we
a
will
fantastic week. And I will see you in a couple, or I will talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But if you miss me a lot, you can just re-listen to any of the other episodes. But you tune in next week to see who Rojo gets to sit in here and banter with him.
There you go.
Okay, we love you so much.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Why did I wave? They can't see me.
You were waving at me to tell me bye.
Bye.